Hi, Senpai Ken here from Kyokushin Karate Torquay. Last week we spoke about self-defense awareness, and I pointed out to you that self-defense is 90% application of the mind and 10% application of the practical aspects of self-defense. And I reminded you that if you wanted to learn the practical aspects of Kyokushin Karate, of self-defense, you could take up Kyokushin Karate Torquay. Okay, so last week we spoke about self-defense awareness, to be aware of your environment. So this week I want to move into the next stage of talking about avoidance. So it's good to be aware of your environment, but it's really important not to deliberately place yourself or unconsciously place yourself into dangerous situations. So today I'm going to give you a couple of tips on things to think about so as you don't place yourself into those precarious positions. So just picture this, you're walking down the street and there's a crowd of people gathered in front of, let's say, a restaurant or a bar, pub, or just milling around in the street. Okay? It could be daytime or nighttime. My suggestion to you is to not walk through the middle of that group. Okay? You don't know what their motives are. You know, there might be some people there who've had a few drinks, there might be a few aggressive people, you just don't know. So my suggestion is to walk around that group of people. If they're looking really particularly sus, you might want to cross the road well before you get to their location. Cross the road and come back on the other side. Or, better still, you might just turn around and walk the other direction. So don't place yourself in a situation where you're going to be vulnerable. Another thing to think about when you're walking down the street is, where are you positioning yourself in the footpath? Are you walking along right next to the fence line, the hedge line, the walls of the shops, or are you over near the road? Okay. What I suggest is to walk down the centre of the footpath, because if you're right up against the fence or the wall of our buildings or etc., someone could be hiding around the corner, and as you're about to walk past, they can reach out and easily grab you, leaving you no time to react. But if you're walking down the centre, you're away from the traffic and you're away from that danger zone, and if someone was to jump out from the side, you have time to react and defend yourself if you need to use a practical skills, or simply get away. All right? So a couple of things to think about when you're walking down the street. And the other thing to think about in regards to avoiding being caught up in a situation is when you go out at night time or daytime, whatever, okay, we all like to have a good time and like to have a few drinks and relax and enjoy the company of our friends. So just try to remember not to get too drunk, because if you get too drunk you start to lose your senses around you and become vulnerable to attack. All right? You might overreact to certain situations when you're too drunk, because when you're drunk, you become a bit more reactive and emotional. But so does other people. So it's always a good idea to try and limit the number of drinks and keep control of yourself. If you're out to have a big night, maybe you can make sure you've got a good friend who will watch over you and be able to take you out of that dangerous situation if it was to occur. If you see a situation developing within that party or the pub or hotel, the disco, wherever, okay, last week we talked about situational awareness, so if you see something is starting to develop, might be a good time to remove yourself from that situation. Go to a different area of the building. Leave the building. Okay? Go home. Come back next week. So I hope you got something out of those couple of tips today. Okay? But just remember, if you want to learn the practical aspects of self-defense and much, much more, fitness, self-esteem, self-assertiveness, confidence, strength, flexibility, all those other things that go along with karate training, feel free to give me a call, inbox me, give me a call on the phone number above, and we'll see if we can get you started in some Kyokushin karate training. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.